Everyone, welcome to another video, and today, of course, you can see about the title is a review of Mancera Auod Cafe. So what I'm going to do is just run through a few little things about it, the time it came out, etc. Then get into what it smells like and my overall thoughts on this. Now you see I've got down probably about 10 mils of this to give it a good review. I've worn this many times, but what I will say is you don't need a lot of this fragrance. It is quite a strong fragrance. It does last and project pretty well, so you don't need a lot. You spray a lot and this one starts getting a bit too edgy. I would say no more than about 5 sprays of this, and you know, so just be aware. So first off, this came out in 2013, classed as a amber vanilla. Well, there's amber and vanilla in it, and you do get that. I would say more on the woody side, so woody amber vanilla. Top notes said to be blackcurrant, bergamot and peach. Well, I don't get any of that. Meat is coffee, amber and floral notes. Well, you certainly do get coffee and amber in this. Then you, on the base, you get woody notes, sweet notes and white musk, which you do get those. So overall, out of the notes, I get coffee, amber, woods, sweetness and white musk. So on the presentation, you've got like a really dark, almost black brown, and then it fades to well, I think it does actually go clear right at the very bottom, almost, as you can see that there. So a nice gradient, nice bright gold sticker on the front. You got some info on the bottom. You got the Mancera logo on top. This one is one of the newer ones with the magnetic cap. See right there. Oh, strong. So, so what do you get out of this? Well, put it short, this one's quite a linear fragrance. It pretty almost smells when you first spray it all the way through its life to the end. It's one of those that just over time just gradually weaker and weaker and weaker, over some time, mind, over the day, just gradually, very slowly gets weaker, and what it does is actually smooth off slightly, as this was quite a sharp and sometimes a little bitter time. Well, not bitter, it's quite hard to explain, but it's got sharpness to it. And over time, although it's still quite a sharp fragrance, it goes just slightly smoother towards the end of its life. So this one, the name Auod Cafe, or Auod, Auod, I would say, yeah, you get the Mancera Auod, which isn't really skanky or animalic. It's more like a sharp wood oud. It's coming from the sharpness through here. It's coming from this, and sort of roasted coffee, that like a black roasted coffee, that can be sharp as well. And now so using Mancera's oud, right? So their oud, I'm sure, well, I would say is a synthetic oud, but they don't really put a skanky oud in their fragrances. There are some that they put out which do concentrate more on just about being the smell of oud, and then yes, they skank and dirty it up and aromatic it up and then malic it up. But for the most part, for the regular ranges, if you will, if they have an oud accord in there, it's not skanky or dirty or aromatic oud. Theirs is more just like a dry, sharp wood, like oud accord, and that's what you get in this. I would say that is the most dominant in this, is that again, that sharp oud kind of smell. Now the coffee, now this is said to be a coffee fragrance. I don't get much of that coffee. It's there, and it's there throughout the duration, like the rest of all the other things that are in this. It's more a supporting note. You do get it, you get whiffs of it occasionally, and it's more of I say, like a dry roasted coffee smell, again with a sharpness to it. But it's more in the background. It's not, named Auod Cafe, you would think it'd be quite dominant in the coffee, and I don't get that. And I think from watching a lot of people's reviews and reading reviews, most people don't get a dominant coffee in this. So if you're looking for like a dominant coffee scent, this probably isn't the one. This is a very subtle coffee scent in its coffee. Like I said, this is a strong fragrance. It projects, it pushes. But if you just want coffee up front, then or other fragrances that will put more coffee up front than this does. So what else is in this? Like I said, it's linear. You do get a sort of dry amber-like note in this, with a mix of vanilla. Again, more backbone. There's more of that than the coffee, so you get a dry ambery note with a subtle vanilla washing through the fragrance. So yeah, I mean, it's for me a woody amber scent with a hint of coffee. That's pretty much how I would describe it. Now, although it's sharp and it's got that coffee side to it, and it's got the dry amber with a subtle vanilla, there is a subtle bit of sweetness in it as well. So I've seen written reviews saying it's got a lot of sweetness in it. It hasn't got a lot of sweetness in it. There's many other Manceras that have got a lot of sweetness. Red Tobacco and that, I had one compliment from Red Tobacco not long ago saying it's nice but it's a bit sweet. Me personally, I don't get the overbearing sweetness from that. I just don't. Maybe my nose is blind to it when wearing it. But two people have said, oh, that's quite sweet, but I never get the sweetness from that up my nose. And the same with this. A lot of people say this sweet. There is a subtle sweetness to my nose. Again, it overwashes through. But again, one person said, "Oh, that's nice, and it's unusual, and it's sweet." And I think, well, they've picked out the sweetness, but I don't get much of the touch of sweetness from my nose. But maybe in the air, other people are smelling it. It just come off a little sweeter. Maybe it does. I don't know, because I can't detach my nose and put it into the air. This has a good sillage, so if you walk past somebody, you will leave a very good trail of scent behind you. And a few people have picked me up and said, "Oh, that smells really good. It's unusual." Now, unusual in a good way. This one is what you would call a niche scent. This isn't going to please everybody. This isn't going to be your massively pleasing scent, like say Cidrat Bosui, however you want to say it. That one's more like a mass appealing kind of scent for a niche house. This one, some people say, "Oh, look, smells sort of like petrol or something," and I know it was this. And other people says, "Oh, that's really nice, and you smell good," but it's different. It's unusual that it was sort of tackling their nose in a good way. Like they didn't quite know what to make of it. It was quite unique, and they were struggling to sort of figure out what it was smelling like. And I like things like that. You know, they're complex, is what I'm trying to say. And this one's got a bit of complexity to it. It isn't just straightforward smell of like I don't know, vanilla and amber or something like that. There's a mix of coffee, a little hint of coffee. There's this woody, sharp woodiness to it. There's a bit of sweetness to it, and like a lot of Manceras, there's a very subtle cleanness to it. You know, all these things are sharp wood. The vanilla's a bit of sweetness, all this, and there's still a subtle, just a very subtle cleanness goes through it, and I think that's coming from the musks. That builds this fragrance up on its base. It never goes dirty, but it almost does. You know, that the whole smell, it smells like it's going to get slightly dirty, but it never gets there. And I don't know what does that. I think if you didn't have the white musks bringing that sort of darkness down and cleaning it out, I think this would actually go slightly dirty smelling. But it keeps it down, I think, with some sort of musk. I mean, seasons, I would say autumn and winter for this one. It smells sort of like both, maybe even touching more on winter. With that woods dry amber combo, I think maybe touching on the winter scent. Now, like most Manceras are said to be unisex. However, the way this comes across, I would say it leans more on the masculine side. That coffee, and I say that it almost goes dirty, but it doesn't. It definitely, in my opinion, leans more towards the masculine. However, if you're a lady and you like it, you rock it. But I would definitely say it leans more masculine than unisex. And I think I had this on sale at about £70 or so. So you look at your discounters, and yeah, you might find you always find some Manceras at some discounters. And I found this one at the time. I think it was around £70, 75 maybe. It was something around there. So a good deal, because these go for about £110, £120 in the UK for retail. So how I got to know about this fragrance, I used to swap some fragrance samples with Gregor Boy 76 before he started his fragrance sample business, which he's got now. We used to send each other some samples, and this was one of them. And then this is back in the day, maybe 2014-15, something around there, so it'd been out a couple of years, and he sent me a sample, like a 2ml sample of this, and I thought, okay, I like that, one day I'll buy it, and that was in the same set of samples that he sent, where I found Apom by Francis Cajon. He sent me a sample of that, and I sampled that. I instantly went and bought a bottle. And then this was sitting around for a bit. I thought, well, one day I'll buy this as well. And I think it was early this year or last year, late last year, that I purchased this. I think it was early this year that I purchased this bottle finally, and I've been enjoying it. Currently, probably is my favourite right now. There's more than likely some that will take its place, but this one, as I say, it's interesting. It's a little complex. It's got different things going on, and I like that. It keeps me interested throughout the day and what it smells like. And towards the end of its life, it does go. It does smooth out a little bit, and a little bit more of the vanilla comes up, and you get. In that bit. That's where I've seen that I get more compliments once it's been on the skin for a good couple of hours, and it just smooths off ever so slightly, and the vanilla starts coming up just a little bit. It really is almost linear, but after a few hours it just does that little bit of a change. Nothing, it still smells the same, but that's when I tend to find that people will gravitate to it and give a compliment to it in that section. I like it. I would give it a good solid 9 out of 10. I rarely give 10 out of 10s, you know. They've got to like really sort of wow me and just like knock me over. I love this. It doesn't knock me over, but I still love it. So let me know if you've tried this one. Do you like it? Not like it? Not your thing? It seems to be one of those. It's like Marmite, you know. You either like it or you don't. There's anybody really in between. I'm on the like it side. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe below if you haven't already. That would really help me out. And yeah, 9 out of 10 for Mancera Auod Cafe. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon on the next video.